weeks ago, I tweeted that the first casualty of COVID has been common sense. The second casualty was the sad demise of so many seniors in nursing homes, which could have been my parents or your parents and grandparents. This had very little to do with COVID. Rather, it was about corruption, greed, and mismanagement. Unfortunately, these deaths look good as statistics for the pandemic. The third casualty is the complete fragmentation and disarray between our governments, whether central, provincial, or municipal, and the medical field. Fourth is a breakdown of law and order, seen in recent days with the rise in gun violence in Toronto, where on a given day there are more violence-related deaths than due to the pandemic. I wonder if this is because police are busy running errands for their bosses by chasing journalists who are exposing the truth, or harassing mothers in parks. Hey, Canadians are confused enough with the China virus, but our leaders are doing their best to add to the confusion. Let's take Dr. Theresa Tam, Canada's Chief Public Health Officer, who previously said in a press conference that while face masks can cut down on the spread of the coronavirus when worn by someone already infected, it does little for healthy individuals. Here's what she says now. She says that wearing masks is a way for people who might have COVID-19 without realizing it to keep from spreading the illness to others. So which one is it? She's contradicted herself, and it's no coincidence that her reversal came right after WHO changed their advice and recommended more widespread mask usage. She is, after all, loyal to who? Tam has reversed herself over and over again during this crisis, saying that the risk was low, saying travel restrictions wouldn't work, focusing on stigma as the biggest threat. Now, those who criticize Dr. Tam in our so-called free country are immediately slapped with a racism label. My friends, stupidity is not a race, so calling someone stupid is not racist. Public health officials had urged residents not to invite anyone over for Thanksgiving dinner this year, but it would seem that even Premier Doug Ford was confused about the rules. Ontario's Associate Medical Officer of Health and Toronto Medical Officer of Health told people to mark Thanksgiving Day with only members of their immediate household and to forego big family dinners. However, Ford told reporters that residents should use their own judgment and practice common sense when it comes to Thanksgiving. Common sense? How is it common sense to restrict meetings to numbers? For example, if you can only host 10 people in your home, does this mean that the 11th person is a verified COVID carrier? Or the 61st person in a restaurant is going to be the carrier of COVID? I don't see common sense in seeing young school children first being crammed in school buses and then being forced to wear masks for 6 hours at school. It's suffocating, even for adults. So why are poor kids being made to suffer? Meanwhile, young Mr. Trudeau, to the delight of ordinary Canadians, keeps doling out dollars to keep everyone's mouth shut. Guess who's going to be heavily taxed very soon? And while our Prime Minister's We Charity has been muzzled, there is another double wee-wee scandal brewing. A Chinese delegate, Wee Wee, was busted for allegedly running an illegal casino, and $10 million in property was seized, including 11 guns and more than $1 million in cash. Mr. Wee Wee, known to be a supporter of Mr. Trudeau, has met him twice and was photographed with him as well. And now for some breaking news. Dr. David Nabarro, the WHO Special Envoy on COVID-19, says,
"We really do appeal to all world leaders. Stop using lockdown as your primary control method. Develop better systems for doing it. Work together and learn from each other. But remember, lockdowns just have one consequence that you must never, ever belittle, and that is making poor people an awful lot poorer."
Let's be patient. The good news is that the Wuhan vaccine is coming soon. This is Raheel Raza for Rebel News. Don't forget to click or like www.rebelnews.com.